Hey YouTube, it's your girl Chic from Chic Say What. Tonight we got a pretty good topic, but before we get started, if you could please hit the subscribe button and the notification button. So therefore when I do post, you'll immediately get that alert letting you know she's out there. She got something to talk about. So tonight's topic, I want to call it Do As I Say, Not As I Do. So I want to discuss the roles of a parent when it comes to their children. I would say young adult children as it pertains to dating. For example, a young lady, early 20s, she's dating etiquette. The question is, when you're a young adult and you're 20, is it fair for someone to believe that how you date is an indication of the parenting skills of your parent? So for example, if you're a young lady, you're in your early 20s, you're a serial dater, you change them out like you change your underwear out, is that an indication that maybe you didn't get the right home training? Is your dating etiquette, your behaviors, a reflection of your parent? Is it a reflection of your mother? Is it a reflection of your father? Or is it just you experiencing life and these are just the decisions that you're choosing to make? So at what point can a parent, or let's just say this, at what point should a parent be still held accountable for the actions of their adult children? I think that's a good way to put it. So this question comes about because I was in a conversation, I was talking to someone and we got to talking about, someone in the media who's basically a serial dater. She dates a lot of people in the industry, and another celebrity made a comment or they indicated that she may be a disappointment to her parents, or her parents should basically take fault in the decisions that she's making pertaining to how she's moving in the world when it comes to men. And the argument is, well, she's an adult, she's dating because she's, a child of a celebrity. There's a flashlight on her life, opposed to, say, a regular person dating and there isn't a flashlight on their life or a camera on their life. So I'm dating, I'm not known by the world, so let's just say in a month I went out with 3 guys, you would know about it, versus a celebrity in a month, they're caught with 3 guys and now it's all over the media. Is there a difference? Can you look at that person differently because their moments are captured on a camera versus a person who's not known, moments not being captured on a camera? So aside of that, when it comes to a young adult and her dating practices, I believe that when it comes to a woman, the initial example on how to carry yourself as a young woman comes from your mother. I have a young daughter, and I feel like me as a parent, it's my responsibility to teach her how to carry herself, how to sit, how to speak, how to be respectful, how to be mindful of her appearance at all times, how to keep up her hygiene. All of that, I feel like as a mother, it's my responsibility to teach her those things. As with a man, I feel like it's a man's responsibility to teach a male how to care for a woman, uh, how to open up doors, how to protect them, how to have a mindset of being a leader. Those are things that I feel like work best when it's coming from the father. Now, a mother can try to instill those things in her son, but I feel like a man can only show a man how to be a man, just like a woman can only show a woman how to be a woman. But at the end of the day, a young man, a boy, pulls things from his mother as he pulls things from his father, vice versa. A young girl pulls things from her father, she pulls things from her mother. But there's just certain key things that I think that it takes the same sex to really instill in that child. So when it comes to dating, I do understand that with a celebrity, yes, they may be dating at the same rate as someone who's not a celebrity. But I think that when you are a celebrity and you are in that situation, you have to be more conscious about your moves. So you can't move the same way as Michelle next door, who doesn't have a camera shine on her. It's just the way it is. And good or bad, whether we like it or not, it's the reality. When you are a celebrity, you have to operate in a different manner because the camera is on you. We can think of plenty of celebrities to where we've actually you wondered, wow, do she even date? Because you've never even looked up and seen them on the red carpet with anyone. So I think that when you have people like that where you don't see their business out there like that, is because they're more conscious of their moves. And yes, that could very well come with age, but I think when you're dealing with a young adult, that starts at home. And I think that starts with conversations that have or have not been had with the parents, such as the mom. I think that it's a parent's responsibility, even when when their children are adults, if they see their children demonstrating certain behaviors that's not kosher, I think it's still their responsibility to still pull them to the side and have a conversation with them. You can't tell them what to do or to control them, but I feel like you should have a conversation with them to let them know that they may be receiving a certain type of attention that's unfavorable. So I think that if that child respects the thoughts and opinions and the experiences of their parent, that information can go a long way. But before we even get there, I just feel like certain conversations during the teenage years should be had as far as, how you go about carrying yourself when it comes to men, because you still want to be respected and you don't want your child to develop to develop a reputation as being someone who's being ran through. Nobody want that for their child. No father want that for their daughter. No mother want that for their daughter. And unfortunately, when it comes to men, it's different. It's just the way it is. A boy or a man can be with many different women and still wind up at the end of the day with a quality woman who they choose to marry and bear their children. Whereas a woman, it may not play out the same, because that reputation that they developed in the earlier years could follow them and result in a quality man choosing to not wife them up. They may, sleep with them, but they may choose to not wife them up because they've already been spread thin. And you have men who will still be with a woman even though she has sex tapes in everybody's video case at home. But for the most part, I think a man don't want to wife a woman who they feel has been spread thin, or who they feel that easily the man next door or up the street has been with. I just think that's just not the norm. With that being said, I think that at an early age, like I have 2 sons and a daughter, I understand that there's certain things that my daughter growing up and as she enter into young adulthood, there's certain behaviors that off the bat she's not going to be able to partake in when it comes to the opposite sex, or what she does when she dates versus my sons, and what somebody may try to judge them for, them being with multiple girls at a young age. Society is going to look at that differently compared to my daughter being with many different guys at a young age. It's just the way it is. It's unfortunate, but it's our sad truth, and we still just have to operate accordingly if we want to be seen in the best light. So it comes down to, how much of a role does it play in a young girl's life as far as when the father comes into play with how she goes about dating. Does the father have just as much equal responsibility as the mother? Should he be having talks with the daughter as well as the mother? I always believed that a girl's first relationship with a male is with her father, and a boy's first relationship with a female is with his mother. So from those relationships, the girl and the boy learn how to treat the other one, the opposite sex. So I think that it's good. I've heard of fathers, dating their daughters, taking them out, showing them how they should be treated when they are out and about, on a date, at a restaurant, opening up doors. I think those things are important, and unfortunately, in our community, there's not a lot of households where that male figure is there to show the young girl that example. And it's very unfortunate. So, I'm a product of that, where I feel like I had to kind of figure it out on my own, when it came to the dating scene, because by the time I was a teenager, I no longer had a father figure in the household. So I felt like the dating thing, I kind of navigated on my own through it, because it wasn't something that I was comfortable kind of having conversations with my mom about, which is another thing. I think young girls should feel comfortable with both parents with talking about dating, sex, things like that. The girl may not be comfortable talking to their father about sex, but I feel like someone who they trust, hopefully the girl, their mother, the boy, their father, they can talk to their parent about that. Because I feel like before they leave the home, they should have a pretty good understanding, or at least I feel like that initial information should come from the parent versus their young friend who's also inexperienced. I think I remember as a young girl, as a teenager, talking to, other teenage girls about certain things that I, per se, wasn't comfortable talking to my mom about. And, just looking back on it, I think it could be scary. However, my memory of these conversations, or a conversation in particular, was one that was favorable for me. And the message was, hey, don't do this, don't do that. You don't want to be labeled as someone who's easy. Like, I felt like, that was like good, sound advice, but everybody don't get that quality of advice. So that's why we got to be careful about who we allow to be in the ear of our child. You want to be that one that gives your child that information. You don't want to rely on important information to be given to your child by some random, somebody your child's age, or some irresponsible adult. You just don't want that. You want it to come from you. So I just feel like, young adults, when they're moving in this world and when they are behaving irresponsible, I think a lot of it does have to do with home life and the quality of the relationship with their parent, the example that they've seen, because maybe the example, what they're demonstrating is what they've seen. They could be demonstrating, they've seen mom be a serial dater. So they think, okay, well, that's what you do. You be a mover and a shaker in the dating world. Or, you see your parent be with one person and just get put through the ringer. So you think, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to just ride it out. So I'm big on parents being conscious of the behaviors that they demonstrate in front of their children. You know, I think that's what it just comes down, that, you know, a child is going to, I think what's going to be most memorable is what they see versus what you say. And I think it's important as parents is that we make sure that those things line up and not operate out of a do as I say, not as I do. I think when a child picks up that you're not, those aren't in sync, then that's when, you know, you start to lose them. And then that's when they start to become confused. And I believe they're probably more apt to go out, you know, to follow with what you do. Because as they say, action speaks louder than words. And we just got to be more conscious. I just feel like as a community, I was telling someone, I just feel like that we as a community need to be more conscious with the things that we do. We need to put more thought into what we do versus, oops, I guess I'm pregnant again. Well, oh well. I think we need to be more picky. You know, just because someone's attracted to you, want to take you out, don't mean that you have to accept the invite. You know, I think we need to look and see, okay, well, what does this person have to offer? Does their views line up with what my views line up with? Do I want to take him home to my mama? Will my daddy shoot him? You know, you gotta think about all that, because in the long run, you know, say you become pregnant, you let him know, and then, you know, I recently heard a story, you know, someone I came across with where she's like, yeah, my daughter, you know, during the holidays said, hey, you know, I'm pregnant. She was, you know, emotional, scared. But when she told the father, you know, the baby dad, you know, he got go. He actually got his bags and got the hell on, y'all. Like we don't know where he at. We all brainstorming saying, well, maybe you can find him on social media. But he got ghost because she didn't want to have an abortion. She said, hey, I want to keep this baby. And now she's due around the corner and he's gone. And you can't make me believe that this is the first time he's done something like that, because if that was his immediate reaction, he played and done that before. You know, she ain't the first one that he done got ghost on when she said, hey, I'm pregnant. So no telling how many kids he got out there. So now here she is getting ready, gearing up to be a single parent. Again, like I said, we have to be more conscious about what we do and how we move. Look at the signs, you know, because more often than not, the signs of someone who's not responsible, oh, they there. If he can't even come pick you up when he's supposed to, return your phone calls, those are signs that, nah, I don't think he gonna be the best daddy, you know, because you still got that daycare. You gotta be picked up by a certain time, but what they gonna charge you about a minute. So you need to look at, you know, stuff like that, because responsibility is responsibility. So if you see a person that's responsible in these areas, it's a good chance when it comes to these things over here, he or she is going to be responsible too. So you have to just go off of the signs, not go off of, ooh, you know, but he was cute though. Okay, well, cute ain't finna pay that daycare bill. Cute ain't finna pay your mortgage, your rent, your car. Cute ain't doing none of that. You have to look at what kind of substance the person has. And I think, you know, those are the things that we as adults have to start instilling in our young people, whether they're our children, you know, our nieces. Like, we gotta like talk to them about these things, because it's far too many of us that are finding ourselves in situations where we just left by ourselves, just floating in the wind, you know. And it's just unfortunate, but it, you know, it's a cycle that keeps happening over and over and again. And I think that it just starts with better decision making when it comes to who we choose to spend our time with. And we do have a choice in that. We have a choice in whether or not we want to give that person our phone number. We want to let them move in with us. We want to move in with them. We want to lay down with it. Like, all of those come from choices. And we have to choose better. We have to choose better, so therefore we can have more than what we have. And that's what I would like to see, you know, in 2020, us moving better. I want us as a community to move better, so therefore we can have more and stop taking the L. Because I feel like we can have just as much as the next. We just have to be more intentional. Like that's the key. Just be intentional. So let me know what you think. Please drop a comment, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. But I want to know, what's your thoughts on this thing when it comes to dating and our young people, the messages that we should be giving them. You know, is the dating practices of young people a reflection of what's been taught at home? And you know, can we make a change? You know, can we turn this thing around? Can we go in the direction that we need to go in, so we can start winning, so we can start building strong family unions and not having, you know, babies all over the place with different people. But we need to, as they say, level up. Can we level up in 2020? Can we just do that? Is it possible? What can we do? Let's talk. Let me know. But until next time, thank you, and peace and love.